Hey guys, it's Di, and this is a requested video that a viewer wanted to hear more about our budgeting system and what we use as a family to keep track of our different expenses and how we stay on a budget. And so I'm going to try to go over everything as quickly as possible. This is a very complex subject, and I've already tried to film this video a few different times, and I start to get very rambly. So I'm going to try to stay on point, make this video as short as possible, and let me know what questions you have. I can make this a multi-part series, and I just want to get the kind of concept across as best as possible. So to go over quickly what we have, we keep track of our budget in Excel. We don't use any fancy programs or anything like that. And we have been doing this since we were newly married and just a household of two, basically husband and wife, dual income, and living on our own without kids. And it's evolved a lot over the years. It's gotten more complex, and more of the different worksheets are attached to each other with formulas and things like that. But the basic idea is always the same. It's keeping track of our money, making sure we're staying within budget, and being held accountable for what we're spending our money on. For us personally, it works best. We pretty much use our debit card for everything these days, so that way it easily gets put into our online computer system. We can transfer over everything into Excel and then easily keep track of the items and categorize them, what budget category they go into. And also another tip I would say is, if you get into the budgeting and you're keeping track of things by category, when you're checking out, actually separate the items by category, and you may even possibly have the cashier check you out multiple times. I know it sounds weird and sometimes it's fairly awkward to do, but it really helps as far as keeping everything separate in their own categories and really being accountable for what you're spending in different categories. So I've made a blank spreadsheet, basically kind of showing you guys what our budgeting looks like, and I will upload this to my blog and put a link down below where you guys can access this blank Excel spreadsheet, and you can plug your numbers in and kind of move things around however you want. But it basically is set up with a cover page that has an overview of everything, and on the cover page there's past numbers, present numbers, and future goal numbers, what you're basically working towards. And then there's different categories that each page is divided into. There is a category for auto expenses go into that category. There's a category for baby, all of baby expenses go into that. There is a husband category. All the personal upkeep items for my husband go into that category. There's a wife category. All of the personal upkeep items like makeup and pedicures and haircuts and all that sort of thing go into that category for me. There's a food category, which is our probably most complex category. There's household category, which has all the household bills in it, anything like housing costs, and then also just an allowance for sundry items, basically things like toilet paper and cleaning supplies and that sort of thing. And then we keep track of all the transactions monthly, which is this next part. And then at the end, we keep track of income, and then also goals, savings goals, whether we're adding more money into our savings account, whether we're saving for a vacation. There's a line for goals and savings goals as well. So the monthly budget items get broken down. And like, for example, I have the auto page right here, and it has the totals that go across the top and basically shows you how close you are to being in or out of your budget. And so things like gas, we estimate that we're going to fill up 3 times per vehicle per month. So we have 6 fill-ups designated for the month. Then things like auto insurance, and then if you have any car payments, would also go in this category. And the thing with budgeting is, say I drive down to Chicago a lot one month and I actually fill up 4 times. It's not necessarily the end of the world if you have a little bit of flexibility in your budget, but we use it more to keep track of exactly how much we're spending, and this is based on an average. Generally, most months we fill up 3 times. So that's what we've used as an average in our budget. And then for household, that would have everything in it, like your housing expense, what you pay for your rent and your mortgage. It would have things like your gas, your electric bills, water and sewer, trash pickup. We even put things like our Netflix bill. We have Netflix goes in there. And then also things like cell phones, TV. We include all those separate bills in household. Now, if it's a bill like insurance or your housing payment or your cell phones or TV or whatever, that's basically the same bill every single month. We pre-populate the cells in the Excel spreadsheet and put those in there basically for the whole year, because we already know that that money's spent basically. So we pre-plan those numbers, and then if the number is slightly different when that month comes around, we put the actual number in. So we find that that really helps, because then you know exactly what you have left over. And then also, as a part of household, there's like a household allowance, which is a specific amount to everything, like those household items like I was talking about, sundry things like toilet paper and things like that get taken out of that household allowance. We also have a category for baby, and you can see that we have it separated here. It says doctor copays is one line, prescriptions, we just have kept those separated out since I was going to maternal appointments, and we've just always kept those separated out to keep track of them. Even when the babies are younger, you can keep track of how much you're spending on formula and diapers if you're willing to separate those things out at the checkout. We usually do for the first year, just to kind of keep track of how much you're spending. And then the overall category just has a baby miscellaneous fund, which would be everything to get when they run out of their hair detangler spray, new clothes, new toys. We just have a general baby budget allowance basically. Food is our problem category. Food is our big category where we've seen a lot of change in this category since we were, first married. We were going out to eat a lot then. We would go out to these expensive meals, and we realized once we started budgeting that that adds up very, very quickly. We have been able to shave off the most money by really looking at our budget in the food category. We watch what we spend when we go to the grocery store, and we don't eat out as often. Now that we have kids, it's really not practical to go out to fancy restaurants all that often anyways, so that kind of helps as well. But basically for food, we have it broken down. These would be pre-populated fields with the actual number put in there for how much we're planning on spending on groceries. And then we have those amounts, and if there's an extra week that month, we already have it budgeted in the Excel spreadsheet. There's a budget for other food, which would be us going out to eat as a family, us bringing food in for the whole family. There's a line for wife food, which would be me going through Starbucks drive-thru, me going and grabbing lunch for me and the kids during the week or things like that. And then there's a line for husband, basically whenever he would be going out to lunch with people from work or that sort of thing. So we have budgeted amounts for each of those different categories in food that we are planning on spending for the month. So basically, as the numbers come in, we populate all the different fields, and our goal for the month is to obviously stay under the budgeted amount. We may, for most numbers, actually come exactly right up to the budgeted amount because we've been doing this for so many years. Our budget is pretty much the average number of what we spend, but the goal is to basically not go over in every single category. And so you can do the budget however you want. My absolute kind of biggest thing I would say is don't budget to the exact amount that you make. In household, we also have a transfer to savings line, is money that is automatically deducted from our account every single month. We never even see it. We're so used to it just getting deducted out that it's just almost like a bill to us. We have done that since we were first married, and I would absolutely say if you're not already doing this, start doing it now. Do whatever increment that you can feel comfortable with, even if it's $20, $50. Transfer that amount over to savings, and honestly, once you do it for 6 months to a year, you don't even realize that it's gone. And that's a great way to really start building up your savings account. What else do I want to say? I really feel like I need to get you guys questions. I just kind of wanted to show an overview of how we do our budget. It really has helped us kind of stay on budget and meet our savings goals. We do make goals for overall year, like we want to have X amount of money in our savings account by such and such date. We're saving for a Disney trip right now. We want to have a certain amount of money saved for all the expenses to do with that and to pay for that. So we do plan out all those things, and those all stay in this master Excel spreadsheet on different pages. So hopefully this has been helpful to answer any questions you guys have. If you feel like printing things like this out, you could always put it in your household management binder. It's fine for us. We're comfortable just actually just actually leaving it on a computer and then you know, adjusting things as need be, but it does help to kind of print it out and see things down on paper. So let me know what questions you guys have. I know that you're probably not really able to see much. Budgeting has really helped us to, you know, keep track of our different goals that we have and really meet our savings goals. So I would be happy to kind of answer any questions you guys have. And I know it's kind of fairly abstract if you can't see these pages, but just having things in different categories and keeping track of all the different categories, how much you're spending for each category, and figuring out the categories where you can maybe raise or lower your budget really seems to help. So thanks for watching. Let me know what questions you guys have, and have a great day.